If you're looking to sell or buy cheap CSGO skins, check out bitskins.com. Today we'll be looking at a round between FlipSide and FaZe on Mirage. This is a set execute on the A site, similar to how it's traditionally done but with some additional Molotovs and flashes thrown in. At the start of the round, FlipSide put out a smoke and a flash towards middle to make it look like a default round. One player goes palace and the others go ramp. FlipSide do the usual smokes for CT, jungle and stairs, but what's interesting are the boosts they do in order to throw extra Molotovs. FlipSide place Molotovs for sandwich, bench, triple, and of course shadow. This allows them to not worry about the entire right side of site and lets them tunnel vision default. The flashes FlipSide use to entry on the site are also perfect. The two flashes for ramp land behind anyone running onto the site. There's also a killer flash that I've never seen used before that lands over the top of palace. It blinds anyone on site or CT and doesn't affect your teammates running out of ramp. Electronic bags the kill onto Rain, who was blind at shadow, and NIKO dies spamming through the smoke. FlipSide also have a second stage to their execute with a smoke for connector. This allows them to push jungle and plant open. This works out perfectly and gives ALLU nothing to work with from CT. FlipSide end up closing out the round in a dominant fashion. Electronic is the entry and holds for the push at ramp. Once everyone else throws their smokes, he does his Molotov that lands towards triple. He gets flashed into ramp and runs straight onto the site with no fear. Take note of just how many flashes are going off around him as he's running in. This makes it so easy for him to run in and get the entries. Rain is blinded at shadow and Electronic picks him off. With no one else on the site, Electronic sets up on the next stage of the strategy, which is his smoke for connector and a flash for jungle. This lets him lead the charge in securing jungle control and allowing an open plant. He goes down to Kirishima, but it's instantly traded by WORLDEDIT. WORLDEDIT is the AWPer and sets up for the CT smoke at the start of the round. He then does the Molotov for bench and sets up two flashes for ramp. The first flash lets Electronic push out, and the second lands behind him as he's running in front. He joins the push and looks for any boost at CT. Once the connector smoke is up, he holds jungle and grabs the kill onto Kirishima. It's important to note that he never leaves himself open to CT as to not give ALLU anything to work with. He grabs the last kill onto Karrigan, who was running through the connector smoke. MARKELOFF does the stair smoke and then sets up his Molotov for sandwich. His first flash is close towards ramp, but it's his second one that is what I believe to be a game changer in any A push. This one goes above palace and blinds the entirety of site and CT, whilst Electronic can freely run in without being blind. MARKELOFF takes down NIKO, who was spamming through the smoke, and then waits for the connector smoke to bloom before planting the bomb. You can see for the post plant he doubles up into jungle for the best possible positioning. From here you can obviously drop down window and play the bomb from connector, which is an incredibly powerful spot. Blade lines up the jungle smoke at the start of the round. He then boosts Electronic to do his Molotov and throws a deep flash towards CT. The second flash that he throws towards jungle is the one that blinds Rain at shadow, but it's also for jungle and anyone in connector. As Electronic cleared the site already, Blade throws his Molotov into jungle to delay rotations. He puts a bit of damage into NIKO through the smoke before pushing jungle, but he does die to Karrigan, who pushes the connector smoke. WAYLANDER throws a smoke and a flash towards top mid at the start of the round. This is to give the idea it's a default from FlipSide and to draw more attention to middle whilst they run a 5-man execute on A. WAYLANDER lines up his Molotov on the wall to be thrown through the smoke into shadow. It looks like he wanted to throw a flash down there too, but he does miss. As the push comes in, he wide peeks to spam the boost at CT, but other than that, he mostly stays inside palace and only focuses on jungle. It's important he stays alive as it gives ALLU something to worry about when he tries to retake. Jungle is the main point they need to lock down, and it's when Kirishima dies that ALLU is most likely pushing up, and he shuts him down with a well-timed peek. NIKO plays mid and sees the top mid smoke. He doesn't get blinded by the flash from WAYLANDER, but the fact he can hear it is good enough. You can see he's not confident enough to hold middle with that smoke up, and he does reposition to connector. He throws the smoke down on connector and gets a flash ready for ramp as the smokes rain in on the A site. He's still very careful of any push from middle, which just shows that the smoke and flash from WAYLANDER served their purpose. He tries to get a tray kill through the jungle smoke, but he does end up missing and is unable to make it back out without being tagged down with the spam. Rain plays Shadow on A. As the execute comes in, he jumps onto the bricks to avoid the Molotov, but is caught from Blade's second flash that landed towards jungle. This meant a quick death with not much being achieved in the round. ALLU smokes Palace and then drops back to AWP ramp from CT. As the smokes come in, he Molotovs ramp and tries to jump up on the ticket but gets blinded. Here we can see the flash that goes over the top of Palace in full effect. This pushes him back further and he's unable to help Rain, who's isolated. It's clear that FlipSide just ignore CT and give ALLU 0 targets to shoot at on the retake. You can imagine how frustrating it is for him being locked out of the action, and when he finally does push, WAYLANDER Y-peaks him from Palace. I'm going to put it back to where the execute happens and pay attention to the amount of times he gets blinded. That flash over Palace is the biggest takeaway from this strategy and should be used in every A execute. It blinds the whole of site and CT without affecting any of your teammates pushing in. Subscribe if you do want to see more breakdowns in the future, leave a like, leave a comment, and I'll see you guys in the next video.